gentlemen. All right, you guys ready? Because it's a bi-weekly episode, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2022 Halloween episode of the Side Project Podcast. See if I can take a drink with my handlebar mustache here. A little awkward. It's working out, though. It's working out. It's good. It's good. You guys know it. How is everybody doing, man? What am I supposed to be, dude? I don't know. I have no idea. This was a last minute. I tried to put it together last minute. I think it was supposed to kind of be like a 70s disco situation, but I don't know. It looks like an awkward cop with handlebar mustache and an Afro Jewish guy with Brooklyn, New York chest hair. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. It's all over the place. Anyway, like I said, because the show is bi-weekly, this will be the Halloween episode. I think Halloween is on next Monday by the time this comes out, right? The 31st. I believe it lands on a Monday this year. But because the episodes are bi-weekly, there's no episode that Halloween week that goes into November. But also, by the way, that week of November 4th, some of you may know and some of you may not, is it's my birthday for one. Yeah, it's okay. Go ahead. We can give a good round of applause. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's all right. But it's also the 3-year anniversary of the Side Project Podcast. And on the 3rd of November, the episode will come out. The anniversary episode will come out on the 7th. But on the 3rd of November, we're going to be recording the 3-year anniversary episode, a little bit of celebration of my birthday, but not really. And then also a celebration for one of the guests. Key word here is one of the guests that's going to be on for the 3-year anniversary episode. It's going to be an amazing time. I think there's going to be like 4 or 5 different people. It's going to be blown out. And I got to tell you, there's some surprises that are in store. And these guys who are going to be here have no idea what's in store for them. It's going to be a good time. All right, I can barely move my face. But anyway, let's stop talking about what's happening in a week or two, and let's start talking about what's happening right here today. Let's have a spookified spadoink of a project time for the Halloween episode this year, as we're going to be doing the Halloween horror movie bracket as tradition here for Halloween time. 16 movies or maybe franchises or whatever, however you want to word it, going up against one another, 2 at a time to see which reigns supreme. But I am not here to do this bracket alone. Oh no, because that would be boring, right? I brought some friends with me. One might get me in my sleep, while the other might get me while I'm chilling on a lake, totally ignoring the sounds that I hear everywhere because I'm trying to score with my new lady friend, Charla. She's a blonde, and I'm usually into brunettes. One has a sharp glove. The other carries a machete. One shows his scarred face, while the other hides his deformities. Sometimes they battle one another, but it seems in this scenario, they've teamed up together. Maybe you've seen them around social media. Maybe you've seen them around cons, such as I did, meeting these 2 gentlemen at WonderCon and coming to find out that they're actually family. So, it's spooky season, ladies and gentlemen. Often, these gentlemen cosplay as Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees. Let's put our hands together and give a warm, spooky season welcome to Lewis and Christian, the father and son duo known as Come Out and Cosplay. Oh my God, that looks absolutely amazing, dude. Yes, I love it. Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees here for the Halloween episode, ladies and gentlemen. I also don't know why I keep doing this voice right here while I'm wearing these handlebar mustache, man. Lewis and Christian, how are you guys doing, man?
We're doing great. How are you doing?
I love it. I'm doing good,
really
man.
Good.
Yes.
Really glad to be on your show.
Thank you guys for coming, man. I first saw exactly what the audience is looking at right now, exactly what everybody tuning in is looking at right now when I was at WonderCon last year or this year, whichever one it was. I don't even remember anymore. But I saw this, and these guys, it's just how you're looking at right now. They had the stance down. They had the mannerisms down. I mean, they were getting it. I saw it from a distance, and I immediately fell in love. And I was running towards them, and like the music hit, and it was like flowers everywhere and everything. And then all of a sudden, I got killed, and I don't know what happened after that. I have no idea. And now fast forward, and here they are for the Halloween episode, and we're gonna go do this Halloween movie bracket. We're gonna talk to these guys, and we're gonna have a good time right after they get out of this cosplay. We can see their faces and we can talk to them a little bit more. So we'll be right back.
It's time to put this bad dog to sleep.
All right, so here we go. I didn't want to, it's awesome, right? It looks amazing. The Freddy, the Jason, it looks awesome, but they also want to be able to talk and see, have everybody see them and whatnot. So here they are. Lewis is the father. Christian is the son. Lewis is Jason. Christian is Freddy. Father and son duo. It's absolutely awesome, dude. I think it's totally cool that the two of you can share this love for cosplay and what is seemingly also some sort of love for horror films as well as father and son, cosplaying together, attending conventions together, and the whole nine, man. I did some digging on your guys' Instagram, and I see that the oldest post that you have there is from 2018, and it's the two of you as Freddy and Jason at WonderCon of that year, and the caption says, Jason ready for his rematch. I love that. Was this the first convention that you guys attended, or did this happen to be around maybe the time that you guys first started cosplaying? I mean, how did this father and son cosplay journey even begin?
So I don't think that was the first convention we attended. I think we went to, it might have been like a Long Beach Comic-Con or something.
Probably around 2014, 2015.
Oh, wow.
We didn't have the Instagram at the time.
Right.
People, and when other cosplayer were giving us their cards, we're like, hey, we need to have a card as well, right? We need to get Instagram. So that's when we started, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and that's exactly what inspired it. Yeah, people giving us cards and are like, tag us on any photos you have. And I'm like, oh, we don't have an Instagram. I'm like, okay, maybe we should get one.
Yeah,
that's totally cool.
He was around 12 and he wanted to go to a convention. So I'm like, okay, let's go. So we start walking around, and of course, not everybody, but a lot of cosplayers, and he's like, I want to cosplay. Yeah, so that's kind of how it was born, right?
Well, how old are you now?
So I'm 22 now.
22 now, okay. Yeah. Nice, dude. So you did start like a little while back then. You just didn't have the Instagram and everything. You just didn't have the social media presence. What got you guys into it, like to do it together as father and son, Because it's not, I mean, sometimes you see it. I do see other cosplayers. Shout out to previous cosplay of the week, Imposter Cosplay. He does stuff with his little new son. I think he's only like a year or 2 years old, and they do stuff together and they have a great time. But it's not too often that you see like a father and son doing cosplay together. Like how did you guys do? How did that start together? Like who approached who about it?
Actually, you tell them when you first did it the first time.
I ended up doing it. I went to, it was like a Dave & Buster's. This local comic shop did like a convention inside of the Dave & Buster's in like one of the rooms. And, that was like one of my first conventions ever. And I was like, wow, I want to like dress. Cause, I'd watch YouTube videos of people dressing and all this cool stuff. So I ended up dressing as Scarecrow from Batman Begins. So I was like,
nice,
that's
dude.
pretty easy. Got a suit, and I'll just make like a little burlap sack, throw a little bit of a little face on it. And so that's how it started. And then from there on, I love the community, being able to talk to people who are dressed up like, oh, I love your costume, and, trading info and just making friends for life. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, definitely. So then, it's a very welcoming community for sure.
Yeah. And so once I did that, I wanted to do something else. And I didn't know if I wanted to do like Resident Evil or Star Wars or, and eventually I just fell upon Freddy. I was like, I love Freddy. I think that would be awesome to do. And then I ended up, I think I mentioned to you, I'm like, it'd be so cool if we like dressed together, like, doing like a Freddy versus Jason thing. And
that's where it started.
We were just like, let's do it.
We even went and bought a wheelchair. We went to Seal Beach and bought a wheelchair.
I saw that in one of the pictures. Right, yeah,
we would tie each other up and we'd push each other, and that got a lot of laughs. We're going through the convention, pushing each other on the wheelchair.
People saying, "Oh, I see who won the fight," and stuff like that.
That's so cool. That is awesome, man. Is it safe to say that Freddy and Jason might be your guys' favorite horror characters or horror movies, or at least one of?
Definitely mine. It's interesting. I dress as Jason, but Freddy is one of my favorites.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you a quick story. So I was at a mall with some friends. I was a teen, and we just stumbled into, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
We didn't even know what it was about. We just went in there and we came out of there just in awe, chills. It was such a great movie. The very first one.
That first moment of experiencing that, I bet it was awesome, dude.
Oh yeah,
it's
definitely.
Awesome. What are your favorites, Christian?
Oh, I would my top's got to be Fred. Fred I just love his his mannerisms, you know,
Right.
his many puns and jokes. It just,
Yeah.
you know, just I love the contrast in a horror movie, you know, because like that's
Yeah,
something
definitely.
you don't get. I love Michael Myers and I love Jason, but that's something you don't get with other more, you know, silent horror movie characters.
Yeah.
And that's why I like a lot of more vocal characters like Pinhead from Hellraiser or Jigsaw from Saw. Just so many different, like, you know,
Right.
quotable quotes that they say.
Right, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I want to know, write down in the comments as well, anybody tuning in, if you're tuning in on YouTube, write down in the comments, but if you're watching on Spotify, as videos are available on Spotify, obviously you can't comment there, but if this becomes a promo clip or anything on Instagram, go ahead and comment down your favorite, what are your favorite horror characters or maybe horror movies? If you can narrow it down to one, ultimate one, go ahead and pick it, but if you can't, give like maybe a top three. What are your top three? I want to know your top three. Are you as indecisive as I am? I can't pick, but I wonder if your top three might be in the Side Project Podcast Halloween horror movie bracket that we are doing today as well. We're going to get to know these guys. We're going to go back and forth, talk with these guys a little bit, get to know them, and then we're going to go ahead and do the bracket, and we're going to go back and forth. And what it's going to be is we've got 4 sets here. A round of 16 different movies all together is what's going to be happening, pitting 2 against each other. You guys know how tournament brackets work, right? And then it's blah, 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 blah. They're going to go down, and they're going to advance, and they keep going, and only one is going to reign supreme. And since there's 3 of us here, the way that it's going to work is, you know, we're going to pin 2 up against each other. We're going to talk about, you know, which one would win. We don't have to go crazy in depth. If you know right off the bat right away it's going to be this pick for you, then just pick it, and that's what it is. And since there's 3 of us, obviously the one that gets the 2 votes is going to be the one that advances, and so forth and so on, and that's how it goes. So let's let everybody know what we've got going on here. So on the first set, we've got Friday the 13th versus Hellraiser. And then we've got The Exorcist versus The Shining. And then in set 2, we're looking at A Nightmare on Elm Street versus It. Oh my gosh, Freddy versus Pennywise, right? And then we've got, rounding out set 2, Jeepers Creepers and Candyman. Set 3, we've got Halloween versus Psycho. Rounding out set 3 is Child's Play and The Omen. I feel like that was good, kind of Chucky versus Damien going on there. And then set 4, we've got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre versus Scream. I'm not a big fan of Scream, but I know a lot of people are, so I threw it in there. And then I decided to do something different. A lot of these are more so kind of the classics, but the last one in the list is going to be The Strangers versus The Exorcism of Emily Rose. And maybe that was just for me because I kind of like those movies. And so maybe I just threw in a little one for me, but I also kind of feel like those 2 movies don't get mentioned often enough around Halloween time, and I feel like they should. I feel like they should. So I threw those in there. But let's stop talking about it and let's get right into it, man. Let's do set 1, round 1. Friday the 13th versus Hellraiser. Since you guys are the guests, I'm gonna let you guys go first. Who takes it for you guys?
I gotta say, for me, it's gotta be Pinhead. Pinhead, because he's just ultimate power. I know.
I didn't expect it.
Next to me.
Ooh, I didn't expect it.
Oh yeah.
But Pinhead is just, you know, it's unstoppable being.
I agree with that. Pinhead is awesome and he's unstoppable. I gotta butt in real quick and ask if you guys watched the newest Hellraiser that just came out on Hulu. Did you guys happen to? Okay, I watched it last night.
I saw part of it, but he definitely watched it.
Yeah.
How did you like it or dislike it? Yeah. Did you like it or not like it, or how'd you feel about it?
I thought it was great. As a fan of the originals,
awesome.
You know, it was its own new thing, you know, with a new Pinhead and new cast and everything. I thought it was great. I thought it was just a fun time, you know. I wasn't too critical, like, oh, you know, that contradicts the original or anything. It was just just a nice, you know.
Yeah, nice, I kind of agree. I feel like it had a little bit of a rocky start, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But once it started getting going a little bit more, I did enjoy it for what it was. I did enjoy it for what it was. So yeah, Friday the 13th versus Hellraiser. You're choosing Hellraiser, right?
Hellraiser for me.
All right, Lewis, what are you going with?
Oh, I'm choosing Friday the 13th.
Oh man, you're gonna put me on the spot. I'm the tiebreaker now.
You gotta be the tiebreaker, definitely.
Oh man,
I grew up watching them movies.
Right. Okay, I gotta say, while I agree with you on the Hellraiser stuff, I think he's awesome. The original, I can't remember her name right now, but the actress that did the female
Jamie
version,
Clinton.
which is that her name? Okay,
yeah,
which is also. The novel that was written is actually a female in the original novel, I believe. So that one is actually accurate for those that are complaining about that, you know, it's not accurate. Well, no, it actually is accurate if you date it back. But I gotta go with Friday the 13th, man. My man Jason Voorhees, dude. He's just too big of a beast, man. Let's do set one, round 2.
Versus
Okay, I'll go first. You know what? I just watched The Exorcist. Like,
Oh, you just rewatched it?
3 weeks ago. It's awesome.
Good timing.
But I have to go with The Shining. Definitely.
Ooh.
I have to go with The Shining, and the reason why is I love the sequel.
Dr. Sleep.
Dr.
Sleep. Yes, dude. I wanted to put this on there, but I was like, I got so many classics though. Like, if I did put Dr. Sleep, I'd have to add more of like the modern ones, you know? I loved it. I loved it too, equally, yes.
I did. I love Dr. Sleep, so I have to go with Shining just because it ties them both together.
Exactly. Beautifully done. What are you thinking? What are you thinking, Christian?
Ooh, you know, I think this might be an easy round. I was also going to say The Shining, you know?
You know what?
Jack kind of froze over and died at the, spoiler, sorry if you haven't seen it, but, you know, he's just iconic, you know?
I gotta agree with you. I won't even waste any time. I won't even give an explanation. I gotta agree with you guys right off the bat. The Shining takes it for me, man.
Here's Johnny.
Since we're talking about Friday the 13th and Jason Voorhees and all that, I do want to get to set 2. But before we do that, Lewis, your Jason cosplay, is there a specific film in the franchise that you modeled your cosplay after?
Oh, against Freddy versus Jason.
Ah, nice, man. Yes. That's actually one of my favorites too. I love the fact that they did that. I know it kind of gets mixed reviews and mixed feelings, but I love Freddy versus Jason. I loved seeing them go against each other. Yeah, it has some of your cheesiness to it, as a lot of horror movies do, and all, like, you know, the typical like nudity and sex scenes and all that stuff that's thrown in there. But I just feel like it fits. It fits the era, maybe. It fits the time, maybe, I guess. But it fits for a Jason versus Freddy, and the way that Freddy is, kind of how you mentioned earlier, with like his comedic timing and the little quirks that he hits. I love that. So you model it a little bit more after the Freddy versus Jason version,
Definitely.
huh?
And you know,
awesome.
I want to add, there's a lot of fans. You know, we're walking around together and like, hey, look, they made friends. You know, it's really, really cool when they see us walking around, unless, you know, we're tying each other up to the wheelchair. But other than that, you know, people really love that. Or they'll hand us babies, you know. Here's a 2-month-old baby here. Yeah,
here, take my baby.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I noticed you didn't just necessarily like throw the mask on and call it a day. You actually have like the back of your head and the sides and like your ears. I mean, the whole thing all looking accurate to the film, that kind of like decayed flesh. Like, what's your cosplay consist of, in the sense of, did you make it yourself? Did you acquire any pieces or props from other people? Did you buy stuff, make any alterations? How did it all come together?
So starting with the mask, it's actually a hood. So it's a gray hood with a little bit of hair on it, and the front is open. So the front is open, and then when you put the hockey mask over it, then that completes it. That'll complete the full mask. Now the jacket, you'll see one over my shoulder here, right? You see that one?
Yes.
That was our first attempt. That was our first attempt, and the one I was wearing is not that one. The other one's just to the left of me, but that was our first attempt. And then we ended up going to a secondhand store to find it. We couldn't find any jackets. Brought it home, cleaned it up, and then we ended up putting burlap on it. So we put burlap on the jacket.
Yeah, hot glued it on.
It took a while to hot glue it on the jacket. Now, we were trying to, you know, we were still green at this, right? So we wanted to make it look used and dirty. You know, we're green, so we're Googling, you know, how to do this. And we found some really interesting suggestions. Here's one for you. So a guy said, tie it to the back of your car and then drag it down the street. That'll get it all dirty and ripped up, right? But we ended up hanging it. We ended up using razor blades to cut it up. So that ended up working, and I think we ended up putting a little bit of spray paint on it as well, black paint.
That's one of the things that I was going to compliment on, is I like the way that the jacket looks with like the burlap, and it's all, you know, stringy and coming apart. I mean, beautifully done. And even like the shirt that you're wearing, it's got like the holes in it. You can see that it's dirty. It's ripped up towards the bottom, even up at the top right here with one of the pictures I'm looking at as well. Yeah, I dig it. I really dig it. And it's just something I noticed, like a little bit of attention to detail. I love that. You know what I mean? You put a little extra oomph in there, and I think that's awesome. Man.
Let me add something else to the cosplay. My son is pretty tall, So
right, I
you know,
remember.
I have to be taller than him. So these really come in handy. I slip these in my boots, you know, so I can be taller because, you know, Freddy can't be tall. Freddy can't be taller than Jason.
He can't be. Yeah, Jason's got to be brooding and big and tall and menacing. Yeah, that's funny. I got to get me some of those too.
Yeah, this really helps out.
Nightmare on Elm Street versus It.
I'll go first on this one. We'll kind of take turns. Overall, It as a whole is a classic. Pennywise is a classic. The things that they could do with a Pennywise movie and have him transform into more stuff is almost endless. It's amazing, but then you've got Freddy Krueger on the other hand, you know, and all the things that he can do in the dream world. And I am actually in the minority where I also enjoyed the remake with what is his name? It's on the tip of my tongue. Do you guys remember? Haley Earl something. I had it and then I always forget because it's like he has like
from Watchmen.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't like everything about the remake. People are going to hate me for this. People always down me when I talk about the remake. But I liked his voice and I liked the way that I liked certain portions of the way that he looked. But I still agree that the classic is the best, but I'm not hating fully on the remake. I got to go with A Nightmare on Elm Street now that I just worked it through in my head there. I got to go with A Nightmare on Elm Street. What about you guys?
You know, it's crazy you mentioned the remake because I'm in the same boat. Like, I love the remake so much. Like, I agree.
I don't think I've met anybody else that does.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. Like, everyone I talk to, they're like, oh, I don't like the way he looks. Or, like, his voice is like, he sounds like Batman. And I'm like,
exactly.
I don't know. He's kind of like a gritty Freddy. And, you know, I love me some classic Robert Englund. But
Right. You can't go wrong with Robert Englund. You can't.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I like that he had new quotes too. You know, it wasn't like. I don't like that when movies, you know, they'll do a remake and then there's the line from the original.
They're just rehashing stuff. Yeah.
Which I like. They put the new Hellraiser did, and I was kind of like, oh, okay,
yeah.
But I mean, if I voted for Pennywise, like, what am I doing? You know, so
I know,
it's gotta be Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean,
it's gotta be. Lewis, what are you thinking?
Oh, that's going to be easy then. Landslide. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Into the end.
Jeepers Creepers versus Candyman.
I'm going to go with Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers. Okay. Christian, what are you thinking?
You know, I mean, Candyman, you know, you go into the mirror, you know, you say the words, he's just there, you know. Jeepers Creepers, what is he? He sleeps for like 23 years, right? He's not in the picture, like that's it, you know. He's like just kind of been doing his own world. I mean, Candyman, you know, he's a real threat, you know. So, we're gonna let you be the tiebreaker this time.
I'm the tiebreaker again, man. I gotta make one of you guys the tiebreaker here. You know what? Candyman scared the ever-living hell out of me when I was a kid, and because I didn't watch it enough and I didn't revisit it enough as an adult. So I'm a little biased on this one, being that I watched all the Jeepers Creepers because I was a little bit older and I was more into them. The first one is still my favorite. Later down the line, they get a little bit less and less good. I gotta go with Jeepers Creepers on this one. I gotta go with Jeepers Creepers. So Jeepers Creepers advances, man. Christian, you have a few Freddy shots that I want to highlight real quick, so I'll throw them up on the screen while I'm talking about them. You got this one photo with the gloved hand atop the hat with the head positioned down. I mean, I love that. It's beautiful, man. I love this shot. It's like, it's a perfect shot for Freddy. It's almost frightening because you're looking at it and you're like, you know who it is and what could possibly be about to happen. And I love that. And you could just see like the blades on the hat. It's so perfect, man. And you have this other shot, this one taken from a distance, and the photos by C-Verse. And if anyone were to go to your guys' Instagram, come out and cosplay with underscores in between each word, and look at the photo and zoom up a little bit more. I'll try to zoom up as well on the screen. Hopefully it doesn't get too blurry and whatnot. But if you zoom up on the photo, you'll see even better how your hand is on your face. You've got one bladed finger resting on it. The expression on your face is a little scrunched up. It's like angry. It's menacing. I love it. Perfect Freddy again. Something that I dig, man, is that I took note with your Freddy that I believe you have a silicone mask with it. You don't just have like a typical mask thrown over your face, but rather seemingly fitted. So when you speak as well, it moves alongside your actual jaw, your chin, you know, looking as if it's your actual face. A little extra detail there, much like the stuff with Jason and everything. I love those little details. Did you make that yourself? Did you purchase it somewhere from a prop maker? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, actually, we purchased that from a prop maker. Nice. I believe it's Brian Wright, like WFX Studios. We bought it a couple years ago. And yeah, so pretty much, yeah, it is a silicone material. So for anyone who's not familiar with the silicone material, you know, most of the Halloween masks you see at like you know, Party City Spirit, they tend to be latex, right? So they're pretty stiff. I know your hood, Jason's hood is it's a latex mask, so it's pretty stiff. But for silicone, it's really like a glove that goes on your face. So like almost like a ski mask that's like right on your face. So you know, when you move your lips and stuff, it'll move with it. You know, it's not super, like prosthetics where it really moves, but you know, it's pretty tight. And it's
but yours looks great. Like such as in the beginning, which I probably, as you were talking, I probably threw stuff up. And then you guys also have a video on your Instagram where you're talking and you're doing stuff. I think you have a few actually, and it's moving so perfectly, and it's menacing, much like this picture that I also want to throw up, and you can see like with your mouth open and everything. I mean, it looks like a Robert Englund Freddy. You know what I mean? Like it looks really awesome. It looks amazing, and you have the contacts and everything, which you're wearing them still right now, correct? Right? Yes. Yeah, you're still wearing them now. Yeah.
Everything's a little red and yellow right now, but I can see for the most part.
It looks awesome, dude. And I love that picture with the blades out and everything. And even the flesh of the mask, it looks accurate, you know? It looks like that almost glossy, burnt look that an actual burn victim would have, you know? And it's absolutely awesome, man. So kudos to you guys. Those little details for your Jason and your Freddy are awesome, and they're coming together perfectly, man. Let's get into set 3. Halloween versus Psycho. Man, I don't even need to spend time on this one. I gotta go with Halloween right off the bat. It's too good.
Should we be unanimous here and say what we're all thinking? Halloween!
Child's Play versus the Omen.
I got a special guest here for this one real quick that wants to chime in. I think the guest, he's got something to say. Let's see, what do you have to say, Chucky? I think you guys better pick me. Because if you guys don't pick me, it's gonna be a long night for you guys. It's gonna be a long Halloween. And I'm tired of having long Halloweens. I'm tired of people not picking me. It's been a long time, and I need people to pick me. All right, dude, Jesus, calm down. God, it's just crazy. It comes out every Halloween, once a year. It just starts causing chaos around the Projekt studios.
I'm one of the most notorious slashers in history.
Child's Play versus the Omen. What are you guys going with?
I mean, again, like those quotable quotes. So what can you quote from the Omen? All right, like what can you quote from Damien? Like Chucky is just... Oh, he's the icon. To walk into a spirit and see if they got Omen or if they have Chucky, and Chucky is always going to be there.
That's a good point. What about you, Lewis?
Child's Play. Chucky for sure.
Yep, I got to go with Child's Play as well. Even though I did enjoy the Omen, I don't remember if I enjoyed the remake, though. There's a remake that I think happened in the 2000s.
Ooh, I don't know if I ever saw that.
I think I saw it, but I don't remember it very well, which says a lot, you know? Speaking of Child's Play, you two have a picture in a Child's Play box standee that I thought was just awesome and hilarious. And it's hilarious because, let me explain why I think it's hilarious, okay? You look at it, and you look at you two, and it could definitely be menacing, right? You're doing the Freddy with the face is perfect, and Jason, you know, looking how he looks, brooding and big. It's perfect. It's menacing, right? Or you could take a comedic route, and it totally looks like a buddy type movie vibe, like a buddy cop bromance comedy. And it's just like the way that Freddy has his arm over Jason and Jason's stoic stance and mask, it just gives off this vibe of Jason, like, I'm so sick of this. Like, I'm so tired of this, you know? And it just cracks me up, dude. This was taken at Midsummer Scream, which is a which you can find them on Instagram, by the way, which is a full-fledged horror convention in Pasadena, if I'm not mistaken. How was that experience? In Long Beach. Is it Long Beach? Oh, okay. On their Instagram, it says the next one coming, I believe, in December is going to be in Pasadena.
Oh, yeah. That's actually Season Screaming.
Oh, okay. It's two different things.
It's
by the same people.
Scream, yeah, but it's called Season Screaming. We went to that one last year as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's crazy because we're obviously in the same state, you know, just different counties and whatnot. But I've never been to any of these. How was that experience? Is it really cool, or is it a big thing, or is it a smaller scale? Or
it was a smaller scale, but it was still pretty amazing. It was a lot smaller compared to Midsummer Scream, where they've got like 3 halls and they've got mazes and the Hall of Shadows. It was smaller, but it was still fun, definitely.
Yeah, just to kind of elaborate off that point, like it's kind of like Midsummer Scream is kind of like if you've ever been to WonderCon, it's like the WonderCon of of Comic-Con. So you have your smaller ones like Long Beach Comic Expo, but like this is like a big horror one where you have different companies come down to announce mazes. I know Universal was there.
That's pretty cool.
As far as the halls, they have Hall 1, Hall 2, where it's like a bunch of booths and stuff, people dressed up. And then the third hall, it's all the lights are off, it's dark, and they have these mazes from different companies, which is just so much fun.
That's pretty cool. And is it like mazes where it's like Halloween Horror Night style where things jump out at you, or is it just a maze that you go through?
It's kind of like Halloween Horror Nights. Yeah, so you're going through it. There's scare actors, jumping out at you. And a lot of these companies are, they have their own like haunt that they're doing during October.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Do you guys get more people coming up to you at conventions that aren't horror related, or more coming up to you at conventions that are horror related?
I think both. Don't you think?
Yeah,
I think both. What do you
it's
think?
Pretty equal.
I would assume that it would be like Midsummer Scream, or Monster Palooza. That'd be our biggest hits. But I feel like we have an equal amount of love from Comic-Con, like Long Beach Comic-Con or WonderCon. It's just
That's
There's
cool.
a lot of horror fans that go to these comic conventions.
Yeah,
it's great.
I'm a huge horror fan, and I don't get to talk about horror enough on this show. So when it's Halloween time, I try to go all out as I can, and have as much fun as I can. That's pretty cool. What would you guys say was how many conventions have you been to, if you can even remember?
Oh,
we've been going, I think, 3 or 4 times a year for the last, 7, 8 years?
Probably from 2015 on, before we got the Instagram account, I would say probably we're doing 3 or 4 a year.
What are some of your most standout conventions that you've been to? What's some of the ones that stand out the most?
The one that stood out the most to us, or at least for me, was like Midsummer Scream. There was a booth where they had like a haunted car wash thing, right? And so we were walking by, and the guy who was at the booth like waved us down and was like, hey, come over here, right? And like we were gonna get a photo in front of his booth, and like we became part of the booth. Like we were there for I would say a good hour just taking photos because people just thought we were part of the booth, and that's
pretty cool.
And then we saw Leatherface come by, and we're like, oh, Leatherface, come join us. Oh, there's Michael, come on.
That's awesome.
Oh, and let me add to that. And then the guy kept saying, folks, line up right here. The line's going this way. So he was actually directing traffic and having a line, and there's 20 people in line. And then I kept nudging him. I'd say, Freddy, I got to use the restroom. Come on, let's go. No, we couldn't go because the line wouldn't stop. It was really fun.
That's pretty cool. You mentioned Leatherface, so let's get into
Texas Chainsaw Massacre versus Scream.
I'm not the biggest fan of Scream. I don't know what it really was about it. It didn't really stand out as like a big horror thing for me. It never really stood out to me as much as something like a Texas Chainsaw would. And I just feel like Texas Chainsaw, in my opinion, I like more Texas Chainsaw movies than I like Scream movies. Although Texas Chainsaw does have some pretty bad ones, I gotta admit. They do have some. They do have some pretty bad ones. But I like the original. I think I like a couple after the original, and then I like I want to say 2006 version. It was with Jessica Biel. It's the only one I can remember right now.
Yeah.
That being said, there's more Texas Chainsaw I enjoy than there is Scream, so I got to go with Leatherface on this one, taking the cake for me, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What about you guys?
Oh, I want to go next because I want him to be the tiebreaker.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So you know what that means? I got to go with Scream.
Oh, I didn't expect it. I gotta go with
Scream. You know what? I went in with low expectations, and then at the end, when we find out who the killers are, I thought that was part. It got a little corny.
I did like that, though. I did like that.
I did like how they introduced, these are the 2 killers, So that I have to go with Scream just because of that.
What about you, Christian?
Well, let me start off with first Scream. So Scream, it's a fun time. It's a comedic movie. I enjoyed it. It's great. And then you have Leatherface, right? You have this movie from, I think it's 78.
I think so, 70s, yeah.
78, something like that, right? You watch it today, that movie still holds up. Does Scream hold up? Yeah, it does. But a movie that's over, 30, 40 years old, still holding up?
I think it's like 73.
73?
I think it's early 70s, isn't it?
Is
like
it? I don't remember. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know it's 70s for sure. You might be right. It might be early 70s. It could be. It's pretty old.
But you're right, Christian. It does stand
the test of time. I mean, you're going back into the 70s thinking like, wow. I mean, that was the time I think Rocky Horror came out. I love Rocky Horror. It's a fun time. But I got to give it to Leatherface. Chainsaw wielding maniac. Come on.
The Strangers versus the Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Have you guys seen these two movies?
I believe I've partially seen The Strangers. The Emily Rose one, that caught me off guard. I had no idea what that is.
Okay, so have you guys sseen Dexter?
Definitely. I've seen them all.
Love Dexter. I love it. What's her name? Deb.
Yeah,
I forgot.
Deb.
I can't remember the actress's name right now, but Deb is in The Exorcism of Emily Rose, and it's obviously an Exorcist movie. And one of the things that always stood out to me that I'll never forget is all like the weird exorcist stuff that she does, contorting her face, contorting her body. All of that was her really doing it in real time. It wasn't any special effects or anything. They were going to do special effects, but she just started like doing weird contorted stuff, and she just figured out that she could do it, and they just ran with that throughout the entire movie. So all the weird, creepy exorcist stuff that you see happening is her doing it in real time, and I just thought that was really cool to see, and it brought what's the word I'm looking for? It brought a like a flavor of realism to it. You know, like that could be really happening in real life. You know, whatever you believe in, if you believe in exorcisms and all that kind of stuff and possession, that's probably what it would possibly look like in real life. She's really doing it, you know, and that always stood out to me, and it was like very creepy to me. Since we're talking about standing the test of time, I got to admit, I have not watched The Exorcism of Emily Rose in quite a while. I think it came out in the early 2000s. I don't know if it stands the test of time, but I did watched The Strangers a couple months back, and to me, that stood the test of time. And so you said you kind of watched it, Lewis. I don't know if you watched it, but for maybe those that haven't, it's basically a guy with a burlap sack, kind of like the Scarecrow, and it's a more realistic take on a horror film. It's something that could actually happen to any of us at any time, God forbid. But it's just the guy and two girls, they wear masks, they break into these people's house, and they just start kind of terrorizing them and messing with them before they get in. They start knocking on the door and just, you know, terrorizing them. And then they finally get in and they start stabbing them and doing stuff and torturing them before they finally kill them. And then they just leave the house and they get away. That's how it ends. They actually get away. Spoiler alert. And I mean, it's been a long time, so, but, and I just thought that was crazy because it's so real. So that's another reason why I pinned these two movies up against each other, because they both have real aspects to them. So whether you've seen it or not, I guess we're going to vote on it anyway. And my vote is going to be with The Strangers. So you guys can pick and choose based off of that or whatever knowledge you may have.
Yeah, I would say, so based on what you said, we're very qualified for this one. So I'll let you go first.
Based on what, you know, the description that you gave, I'll have to go with The Strangers.
The Strangers. Okay.
The Strangers.
What about you, Christian?
You know, I love Deb from Dexter, so I'm gonna give it to Deb. I'm gonna give it to Deb.
Okay. Well,
I am gonna go back and watch that movie though, now that I know Deb's in it.
Yeah, she does a good job, at least from what I remember. Like I said, I don't know if it holds up today because I haven't watched it, but now I'm going to also go back and watch it as well. But since it's a 2-1, The Strangers takes the cake here. And wow, dude, we're looking at the quarterfinals, man. This is awesome. Friday the 13th versus The Shining, A Nightmare on Elm Street versus Jeepers Creepers, Halloween versus Child's Play, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre versus The Strangers. This is going to be absolutely awesome, dude. The quarterfinals. You guys ready for the quarterfinals, man?
Definitely, yeah.
Let's do it, man. Before we get in,
we'll see.
I know, right? Before we get into the quarterfinals, though, I do want to say real quick, this week's episode is brought to you by the Side Project merch store. That's right. Shameless plug. Link in the description wherever you're watching right now on YouTube and or Spotify, where you can get awesome mugs like this, like the Run It Up mug or the Absolutely Awesome mug, the Project Park mug, collaboration with Imposter Cosplay, as well as all the awesome hats that, you know, there's one behind me right now, the Project Park dad hats as well, and then the Project line snapbacks and all the awesome hats and awesome different designs and tees and hoodies and crew necks and everything that's up there, as well as the new hoodie that's coming out for Halloween. In honor of Halloween, you can get your Chazosaurus Rex Side Project bright orange. Does it really have anything to do with Halloween? No. But am I using it as an excuse for new Halloween merch? Yes, I am. Why? Because it's orange, and orange reminds me of Halloween. So you can get this on the Side Project merch store right now. And if you don't like these bright orange and bright teal colors, there's also what I like to call the more vintage colors. I'll throw them up on the screen. Oh, my phone's ringing. Sorry about that. I'll throw them up on the screen because I don't have one. I don't have one on me right now, and I don't feel like going into the other room. But I have the vintage colors, the vintage Chazosaurus Rex Side Project logo, hoodies. I believe they're going to be on a tee as well. I think they're on a tank top for those that still want to rock tanks. If you, it's getting a little bit colder out there around the world, right? Except for California, it's like raining one day, and then now it's like 98 degrees. And I'm not talking about the boy band. So you can get it on a tank top, and then you can also get it. What did I say? The hoodie, the tee, the tank top, maybe on a crew neck. I don't know. I'll find out. But they're available now if you're watching this on the Side Project merch store. I always appreciate your guys' support, past, present, and future. Links are always in bios and descriptions wherever. They're right there in arm's reach, or rather, I guess thumbs reach. Thumbs reach, maybe fingers reach, or maybe using your toe. Who knows? You know, you never know these days. People like to do weird things. They're all easily accessible. You guys can get it. Grab something today and validate your sexiness. Let's run it up. Let's take a drink together real quick. Run it up.
Hell yeah.
There we go.
Freddie might need a new sweater. So.
Oh, you guys are taking one as well. There you go. Thank you. I'll send that to you. All right, dude. The quarterfinals. Let's do the first half of the quarterfinals here. Set 1 and set 2. Let's do it.
Friday the 13th versus The Shining.
You know, Jack Torrance, again, I'm going to spoil it a second time. He froze out in the snow, you know?
Right.
Jason's been drowned. He's been struck by lightning. Yeah, struck by lightning.
Yeah.
Burned.
Right.
Literally thrown with toxic waste, and he still comes back. The studios.
He was thrown in a, what are those things called, where it chopped him up in that one? Do you guys remember that one?
That
big
remake. Yeah, it gets like grinded up. And then
the wood thing? Yeah.
The wood chip.
Wood chipper. There we go. Yeah, I knew it was a wood something. Wood chipper, yeah.
So, you know, I got to give it to my man, Jason.
Friday the 13th. What are you thinking, Lewis?
Oh, well, I am Jason, so let's go with Friday the 13th.
And I'm not even going to waste any time on it, dude. We're going with Friday the 13th as well.
Friday the 13th. You may only see it once.
A Nightmare on Elm Street versus Jeepers Creepers.
I'm not going to waste any time with this one. I'm going to go first, and I'm just going to say right off the bat, Freddy takes it. A Nightmare on Elm Street for me, hands down. What about you guys?
Is this another unanimous one? I hope, maybe.
Definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
All right. Nightmare on Elm Street advances. Oh, this is wow. Do you guys know what that means? That means it is Freddy versus Jason in just a little bit here. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit more before we get into the rest of this this bracket. I know you guys have other cosplays outside of horror, which we'll discuss momentarily. But has it ever crossed your guys' mind to do any other horror-related cosplays? Say maybe anybody on this list, maybe like a Leatherface or a Hellraiser or whatever it may be. Has anything else ever crossed your guys' mind?
You know what? I've actually thought about Michael Myers. I think that would be a good.
That would be a good one, yeah.
Cosplay, definitely.
Right, yeah, 100%. That'd be a great one for you as well. Again, the stoic look, the build, the height, and everything. I think it'd be awesome. What about you, Christian? You ever think about anything else?
Yeah, you know, I've always thought for a long time. Again, I keep exposing myself as a Hellraiser fanboy here, but Pinhead. Like
yes.
The needles, I've never seen a cosplay for it. I've Googled, I've tried for your viewers out here. You guys Google, try. It's not.
I want to look too, yeah.
It exists. But I feel like it'd be so cool. I've seen silicone masks for it. Just the outfit, the leather and everything, and having the box in your hands. I feel like that would just be such a fun time.
Aside from your Freddy and Jason cosplays, you guys are also Star Wars fans, man. Bringing together the likes of Darth Sidious and Darth Maul to life, looking great while doing so. I love it. But even taking it a step further and doing Darth Malgus from the video game iteration. And those who may not know, Darth Malgus, nicknamed the False Emperor, was a male human Sith master who serviced the Sith Empire during the Great Galactic War, the Cold War, and the Second Great Galactic War. I'm not certain if I've seen a Darth Malgus cosplay before. I don't know. Maybe at least it just has never come across my table, but I've never seen one that I could think of right now. What made you want to do Darth Malgus? I mean, where did that come from?
Christian talked me into it. He's the one that talked me into it. He was going to be Darth Sidious, and then he talked me into it, and I'll let him explain how he actually talked me into it and why.
Yeah, I mean, this was before, for your viewers that are on YouTube, you guys can see the Darth Maul mask. This is the new combo we got. But before that, it was Emperor Palpatine and Darth Malgus. So, we thought cool, like you had mentioned, Emperor and another Emperor. So, it'd be, it's a cool combo, different eras, of course. If you're familiar with video games, it's like, I think it's...
But it looks cool visually.
Yeah. So, Malgus, if you're familiar with the character, he's got a lot of like mechanical stuff going on in his body, right? In the game, like a bomb blew up in his face and he's like horribly scarred. It's kind of a cosplay that we never finished, really. I mean, we didn't really get the kind of breathing apparatus. We didn't go for the full armor effect. But it was, there was a lot of challenges we faced on the way, just not a lot of templates and stuff to, create a lot of this. So
yeah.
Malgus is not abandoned, but he's kind of like put on hold until we can really, bring him fully alive.
For sure. I really dug that though, because like I said, I haven't seen one come across my table. There could be some out there, but I just haven't seen it. And I really dug that. I really liked it. I thought that was really cool. If you put Darth Sidious against Darth Malgus, who wins? I want to know your guys' take. Who wins?
I gotta give it. Sidious was ruling forever, ever as an old man, and he just manipulated Darth Vader. He manipulated the Senate.
Yes.
And I have a theory. He killed Padme from like sucking the life force to say. Anyway, this is a long story, but I believe he is the most powerful Sith ever.
That's a good one.
That's
a good one. I like that. What about you, Lewis? Is that you?
I have to
you
go.
agree?
I have to go with Sidious for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely my all-time favorite.
In time, you will call me Master.
Let's do the quarterfinals, second half. Let's do this.
Halloween versus Child's Play.
I'm gonna make it interesting. Ooh. We'll let you two decide. I'm gonna go with Child's Play.
Oh man. Okay. All right. I'll go second, and then we'll leave it up to Christian to be the tiebreaker, because I'm definitely gonna pick Halloween. So what do you pick?
I feel like I would be like eaten alive if I didn't pick this, but there's no pressure here, I'm assuming. But I do love me some good Michael Myers. I mean, I know we had the new one come out, I saw, no comment on that, but Michael's a classic,
So you going with Halloween?
Going with Halloween.
Going with Halloween,
right.
baby. Halloween advances. Let's move on to set 4, the last in the quarterfinals. We're looking at
Texas Chainsaw Massacre versus The Strangers.
And I feel like this one might be unanimous.
I think so too.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Am I right? Before we get into the semifinals, I know people are probably asking, because this episode's running on a little long, you haven't gotten into the cosplay of the week yet, and you're right. Let's break up the monotony and let's get into this week's cosplay of the week. Ooh. And this week's cosplay of the week is keeping with theme, and it's totally accurate to what's about to occur in the semifinals. This week's cosplay of the week is none other than the Shape Cosplayer on Instagram, and I'm throwing it up on the screen right about. Let me get my knife now, and it is of Michael Myers from Halloween, and this is absolutely phenomenal, dude. Absolutely amazing. I mean, it is mind-blowingly done. And the caption says, another pic from my Halloween Kills cosplay, this time showing the amazing work done by J.P_monsters on the burn side. And he's referencing the mask. Photo and edit by the Shape cosplayer himself. And the mask is by JP Monsters once again. This is absolutely insane. With the fire going on in the background, the fire up in the front a little bit, you can see like the flames, the debris and everything. The mask is phenomenal, dude. It's menacing. It's incredibly accurate with the burnt side as well. The gash in the front by right above the eyebrow. The eyes are kind of sunken in so you can't quite see, but if you kind of look closely, if you screenshot it and you zoom up, you feel like you might be looking into an eye, but you're not quite sure. It's that amazing, dude, with the jumpsuit and everything going up. I mean, it's phenomenal. I got nothing left to say. It's that amazing, dude. And I do want to throw up a second photo as well. So I'm throwing that up right about now. And that's on the screen as well. And the caption says, the Halloween Ends trailer, at the time that this was posted as well, obviously, has finally been released. We will finally see Michael's face clearly, ? I'm looking forward to seeing the movie. Obviously, the movie is now out, I believe, right? The movie's out?
Yeah.
Did you guys see it? I haven't seen it yet.
No,
I haven't.
This weekend, weekend plans right now.
I'm planning on seeing it as well, but I'm not. I gotta say, and I'm sorry, the Shape cosplayer, but I'm not really digging these remakes so far. Like, I'm not very happy with them. I think the first one, I was like, okay, all right, okay, that's cool. But then Halloween Kills, right? Was the next one. I was like, I don't know, and I felt like that one should have been the end of it. But then they came out with Halloween Ends and there's another one. And I'm like, okay, all right, I guess so, right? Why not? But I haven't seen it yet. I do not hear good things about it, unfortunately. But anyway, this isn't about the movie. This is about the Shape cosplayer who does an amazing job at this. I love this photo as well. That blue feel to it, opposite of what we saw in the first photo. That cool vibe to it, that cool emotion, that cool filterish to it. You can see that he's got the mask a little bit lifted off of his face, right under his eyes and everything. You do see a little bit of his nose, a little bit of his chin and his mouth and everything. The bloodied hands is an absolutely awesome take as well. And I'm trying to zoom up here. Is that a tattoo on your hands, or is that okay? That's a tattoo. I thought for a moment there maybe that's like a gash or something when he was like doing something, but no, that actually is a tattoo. That is your actual tattoo. It has nothing to do with the cosplay.
He got a tattoo 40 years later, so
yeah, you never know. He took a moment and he was like, you know what? I got to get a tattoo real quick. I got to treat myself, guys. Michael Myers had to treat himself. The mask is looking amazing once again with the hair, going down in the back right there behind the ears. It looks awesome. You're about to pull it over your face, like I said. You can see the jumpsuit a little bit more and everything. It's absolutely amazing, man. The photo is by the Shape cosplayer himself, and once again, the mask is by J.P_monsters. Beautifully done. Beautifully done, Shape cosplayer. I've been following you for quite a while now, and I also do want to shout out Imposter Cosplay, you and Imposter Cosplay, who's a previous Cosplayer of the Week and previous guest on the show, 4-time guest on the show, and you guys did a collaboration together with your Michael Myers and his Batman that is absolutely phenomenal, and I really loved seeing that come together. The Shape cosplayer, you are an amazing cosplayer, man. And I feel like our guests here today, if this is just a promo clip on Instagram and you did not see the entire episode, the Shape cosplayer, we have father and son duo come out and cosplay, Christian and Lewis. They cosplay as Freddy and Jason more often than in any of their other cosplays, but they do have other cosplayers. But I thought this was fitting for the Halloween episode. You're Michael Myers, they're Freddy and Jason. I felt like this was awesome. What do you guys think about the Shape's cosplay, man, as Michael Myers?
I love it. The atmosphere of those photos demonstrate. I mean, I feel like I'm looking at posters. I mean, they're so well done. Like, it's awesome.
Absolutely amazing. Definitely amazing.
Yeah. It's
realistic.
so well done. It is extremely realistic. Dare I say, oftentimes, possibly doing a better job than the companies over there, the production companies over there pulling out their posters. You know what I mean? Like, this is amazing. You guys should just start hiring the Shape cosplayer. Well, this is awesome. Everybody, please go follow the Shape cosplayer, all one word, spelled exactly how it sounds, because the Shape cosplayer, your Michael Myers Halloween cosplay of the week for me and Christian and Lewis, come out and cosplay of the week for me and them is amazing. Please don't kill me, okay? Please don't kill me. All right, let's waste no time. Let's get into these semifinals, man.
Friday the 13th versus A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Who wants to go first? I don't even know. Should I go first? Who should go first?
I'll start
it off. Oh my God, I'm indecisive. Dude. So, oh man, this is a hard one, dude. Okay, so you got Jason Let's do a little bit of, let's break it down a little bit here. So you've got Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th, right? Let's look at everything. Let's get the characters here. I'll try to speed it up as fast as I can. Let's look at the characters here. Let's look at the franchise here, the longevity. Jason Voorhees, he's menacing. Both of these guys, obviously, they die, they come back, they die, they come back. They're crazy, right? They've even gone against each other, and it made it look like one won, but maybe the other won. Who really knows? We never got a sequel. But one's more brooding, one's a little bit more brutal. One's, I love in one of the remakes, I believe, the early 2000 remakes, where Jason was like kind of almost running at people now and was just hacking people. I kind of like that. Like he was like, I'm tired of it. I've had enough. I'm done with this. And I kind of dug that. But then on the other hand, you've got Freddy, all the coming out of beds, coming in dreams and random things. Dude. As much as I love Freddy on this one, I've got to go with Friday the 13th.
Who goes next? Who goes next?
I think since you cosplay as Freddy.
Okay, you're right.
I think you should go next.
That's fitting. Nobody's totally gonna predict my answer, but so Freddy, he's had that same sweater. He's had that same. Okay, maybe the sweater changed a little bit. If you want to get technical, it didn't have green sleeves, but anyways. Jason, his look has been evolving, but Freddy's just he was born and he just stuck with it, Jason had the burlap mask, and then he had the hockey mask.
That's true. I forgot about that. Wow.
Yeah, right?
That totally crossed my mind.
If you've seen the original, then no spoilers there, but you know what's up if you've seen the original. There's a big twist there, but I got to give it to Freddy. I mean, he's coming out of TVs, like you said. He's coming out of, walls. What more can I say?
Tiebreaker here. What are we doing?
Well, I'm going to make it quick and easy.
Here we go.
Drum roll. I'm going to go with A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, that's crazy. A Nightmare on Elm Street takes it.
I cosplay as Jason, but I really love Freddy.
Gotta go with Freddy. Yeah, Freddy,
really
man.
love
A Nightmare on Elm Street. Wow, dude.
Halloween versus Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I'll take it first. Here we go. Ready? Halloween. I gotta go with Halloween.
Michael Myers.
I've seen some of the Texas Chainsaw Massacres, but I've seen a lot more Halloween. I'm just more into the Halloween movies.
What are you going to go with, Christian?
My answer is going to go with creativity. I feel like Halloween, he's got the same, Leatherface has the same chainsaw, but as far as creativity,
right.
Leatherface is just coming out. He's chainsawing people if you've seen the second one, he's literally on a car, like chainsawing a car. Anyways, but the creativity that they've done with Leatherface, I think blows away something that the new movies are kind of lacking. Creativity, originality. Anyways.
I agree there. Okay. I get it.
I'm going to give it to my boy Leatherface.
Oh, man, I'm the tiebreaker. Okay, well, I definitely agree with the things that you said about a little bit of creativity here, switching things up. He's got different masks, but, there's flesh for Leatherface, supposed to be flesh. So, of course, he's got different masks, looks a little different, wears different clothes in several iterations. The only thing that kind of remains the same is the chainsaw, maybe that he's a little bit on the bigger side, a little bit brooding. I do like the fact that Leatherface he runs at people. I believe he even kind of makes some noises here and there as well, and he's just chainsawing stuff. He's flying around, tilting it in the air. He's showing that he's unstable as ever. But then you've got Michael Myers. He's brooding. He's suspenseful. He appears and disappears out of nowhere, almost as if he's not human. He's another one, much like Jason and Freddy, that just withstands the test of time as far as killing him and coming back and killing him and coming back. And for that fact, I've got to go with Halloween. I got to do it. Michael Myers takes it, man. Oh my gosh, dude, the finals are upon us. We are looking at Freddy versus Michael. We are looking at A Nightmare on Elm Street versus Halloween. But I've got to make everybody wait just a little bit longer. Aside from horror and obviously Star Wars, what else are you guys really into? Are you guys like Marvel fans? Are you DC fans? Are there any other like nerdums or fandoms that you guys like? Or maybe even, outside of the world of cosplay or any of these things that I mentioned as well, is there anything that you guys are like really super interested in? May it be like Greek mythology like myself, something that I'm super interested in that don't really talk about on this podcast, or gaming is another thing that I'm very, very interested in, which I do talk about on this podcast. What's something else that really draws your guys' attention that people may not know about you?
Yeah, so I'm really into a lot of just like comics stuff. I mean, when I first started going to conventions, it was for Marvel and for DC. I started going to WonderCon and stuff. And, my first cosplay was, a DC character. So.
Oh, really? Who?
A Scarecrow. So Scarecrow.
Oh yeah, that's right. I just drew a blank. You're right. Yeah, Scarecrow.
Yeah,
you mentioned that. You mentioned that earlier. My bad. We're talking about so many different characters here today. I'm sorry.
I mean, just the whole like Marvel movies and then DC comics. Maybe not DC movies.
Right.
That's a little things about Black Adam, but
I know I haven't either. I may not have time to see it this weekend, but I want to see it sooner than later either way. But I am not hearing good things about it.
Yeah.
Well, hey, DC starts out pretty good, right? But then halfway through, right? That's when it starts going downhill sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. They're very, very roller coaster ridey. But then I got to agree with a lot of people these days that Marvel is getting to that point right now where they're also very roller coaster ridey. It's very up and down, mixed feelings lately. So, you can't win forever, I guess, and you can't win everything. But yeah, I'm sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead, keep going.
Go, Christian.
No, you're good. Thor, Thor, the last Thor movie, was not a big fan. I get what you mean, the whole roller coaster ride.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that one either.
But overall, like DC Comics, I like a little bit of gaming now. I don't really have time because I'm in school right now. But yeah, I think just films. That's what I usually say.
Awesome.
I'm broke my personality, a lot of horror films and comics. So
awesome. Yeah.
That's me.
Awesome. What about you, Lewis? It could be anything even, it doesn't have to be anything in line with those.
I've always loved superheroes. Saturday morning, that was me watching the Super Friends, at 5 years old, Super Friends.
Yes.
And then Christopher Reeves, for example, the Superman movies that came out as well,
Classics.
I used to watch the old Superman from the 50 reruns.
Yeah.
I'm not that old, but I used to watch the reruns. So from Superman, it was just, I've always been a fan of superheroes, DC, Marvel,
That's awesome.
everything.
That is
Exactly.
awesome.
Shazam. I don't remember if you know that one, but that was a 70s show where you'd say Shazam, right? And you got the new movies, but that was a TV series. So I was watching all of those shows when I was growing up as a kid.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, we have a lot of things in common. That's really cool. And a lot of things in common with everybody that's tuning in here today. Well, I won't waste anybody else's time, man. We won't waste any more time here. Let's do it. Let's look at the finals. Let's see who takes it. Let's see who wins it.
A Nightmare on Elm Street versus Halloween.
Well, I'll start us off because, again, I think viewers might have an idea what I'm going to pick. But the overall, again, Freddy's just iconic laugh, his iconic quotes. I mean, Michael Myers quotes, non-existent. So, I could just hear those quotes over and over again. And for me, the dialogue that he does and the dynamic between characters like Nancy, it's crazy. I mean, I know we got, Laurie Strode, she's got a little dynamic there, but they never talk. So
yeah,
I'm gonna give it to Freddy.
Oh, he gives it to Freddy. Okay, I'm gonna go second on this one. Let me go second on this one,
right.
And we'll round out the final one. You get the final pick, Lewis. At the final pick, I'm gonna go with Halloween on this one because out of all of them, it quite possibly might be. I'm very indecisive, and my picks on things often do change, but it very well might be one of my favorite Halloween characters of all time. And I mean Halloween as in like horror movies. I meant to say Halloween time, horror movies and all that. But I guess better word, it would be one of my favorite horror characters. It may not be the best horror franchise or horror movies as a whole. I don't know. I'd have to really think about it. But it's definitely one of my favorite horror characters of all time. And for that fact, I've got to give it to Michael Myers. I've got to give it to Halloween for my take. What about you, Lewis?
All right. For me, well, I fell in love with the first movie. Second movie came out. third movie came out. Then you have Dawkins in that movie as well. Doing the music. So I gotta go with Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, Nightmare on Elm Street takes it. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 2022 Halloween horror movie bracket featuring Come Out and Cosplay this year for the Halloween episode is Freddy Krueger, A Nightmare on Elm Street. I wish I had a bell that I could ring right now, but I'll add something in editing. It's probably playing right now, but ding, 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 ding.
Go get dressed. Go get dressed.
I know, right? Hurry up, hurry.
Go get the costume on.
A Nightmare on Elm Street takes it. I can't believe it. Out of all these movies that we went through here today, A Nightmare on Elm Street takes it and reigns supreme for the best in this bracket, the best in this bracket here today for the three of us. That is absolutely awesome. This was an absolutely amazing, fun time. I love doing these horror brackets. I've done a few in the past before. It's always fun doing it with different people, and you definitely, I appreciate you guys coming and doing it with me as well and being such good sports about it and wanting to do it, because I can't do a bracket by myself, you know? It's not the same. You got to have multiple people to do a bracket and have that good camaraderie and conversation back and forth. So I had a great time doing this, but before we do get out of here, I do want to ask you guys, what's next for you two? Are you going to continue on with the Freddy and Jason? Do you plan to do different iterations of Freddy and Jason? Are there any other cosplays in the works that maybe you want to reveal here today that people could look forward to? I mean, what's the future look like for you guys as far as cosplay goes?
I think as far as Freddy and Jason for the near future, we're just going to keep running with it till the wheels fall off.
Perfect.
We're just going to keep going with it. We love it. We enjoy it so much. I know. It's always a blast to do. So as far as different iterations, we've always wanted to play around with the idea of like incorporating holidays like Christmas, maybe.
Yeah, I saw some of that stuff on your Instagram page before, right? Yeah.
Maybe taking that a little, a step further, something in the summer, do a little Freddy, maybe in some beachwear or something. Jason,
that's awesome.
Maybe he's got a surfboard with him. So we're looking to hopefully do that in the future.
Maybe I can tie him up with some Christmas lights or something, right?
Exactly.
Throw a hat on him.
Exactly, man. That is awesome. So like I said, I thank you guys for coming, man. I do want to give you guys the floor for us to say whatever it may be that you want to say. Go ahead and take a moment. If you have anybody maybe that you want to shout out or give any thanks or just whatever it may be, whatever's on your mind, go ahead, take a quick moment, the two of you, and say whatever you'd like to say. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I'll go first because I'll be probably quick, right? Well, okay. I want to say that it was a pleasure being on your show. We want to thank you for inviting us. It was a great, great time. Thank you so much. And we definitely love cosplaying, and we hope to see everybody out at the next cosplay. Now, the next one is December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in Los Angeles.
Yes.
So we will be
LA
there.
Comic-Con. You guys are going to be at LA Comic-Con. You guys hear that? They're going to be at LA Comic-Con. I might be there as well. So if I'm there, I'll see you guys there for sure.
Thank you for having us on. It's been a pleasure. I wish we could have been there in person, but
no worries. There'll be opportunities. Yes, there'll be other opportunities.
Thank you for having us. And thank you to everyone who supported us on our Instagram all these years. Thank you, and we love to meet everyone and hang out. And, if anyone ever wants to reach out, please do. I love making new friends and just talking nerdiness. So thank you to everyone. And thank you for having us on.
I have one other person to thank. I want to thank my son, Christian, because it's such a great father and son experience. We have a great time. I have a great time. I spend 12 hours with my son, and we have an awesome time.
That is absolutely awesome. That is absolutely awesome. I shared that experience with my dad with various things as well. So I know what that feels like, man. My dad was the reason that I'm into comics and stuff like that and superheroes to this day. My dad was the first person that introduced me to the X-Men. He introduced me to the X-Men comics as a young kid. He bought me all the action figures after the animated series came out. We watched it together. He read it to me. And then, of course, when I could read, I started reading them and whatnot. And he introduced me to all that stuff. And he's the reason why that took off for me, and I'm such a nerd and a fandom of that, as well as gaming too. My family got me into gaming and everything, so I know that camaraderie with your family, with your father as well, is it's something special. So Christian, hold on to that, and I see that you guys got a great relationship. It's awesome. Me and my dad bonded over all that stuff, as well as music too. We did music together, and that was something that we bonded that took off for a while as well, and it's a great thing. So it's awesome to see that, because I know what that feels like, and it warms my heart, and that's so cool. Something that we don't get to we don't get to do here often on the podcast. You know, I may start crying, but it's okay. We don't worry about it. It's fine.
It's so wholesome. It's getting so wholesome.
It really is. It's getting wholesome right now. We're just gonna swap stories, cry together, and sit around the fireplace for Halloween. So I thank you guys for coming, man. I'll let I'll see if I could take this off with the adhesive. It's probably gonna rip my actual beard off. Oh man.
Oh, you got it. You got it.
There we go. So that way, in case any of your followers are tuning in, they can see what I actually look like. This isn't what I actually look like. The chest hair is fake as well. I kind of like the fro though. You know, I kind of like the fro a little bit. Oh man, and the adhesive here. Oh, I feel like these are gonna. Oh man.
Oh my gosh, it's like you're in a Saw movie.
I know, right?
Hey, like a Band-Aid, go quick.
Oh. There we go. Yeah, I thank you guys for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, please go follow Lewis and Christian, Freddie and Jason for the Halloween episode here at Come Out and Cosplay with an underscore in between each word on Instagram, and follow everything that they do, as I will be continuing to follow them. You may see us together at LA Comic-Con, and who knows, maybe you'll see them in person at a future episode. I would love that. That would be awesome. Maybe a follow-up episode with you guys, talking about whatever you may be having going on in the months to come after this episode. It would be absolutely awesome. So thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. It's been an awesome time. I can't wait for everybody to see this episode when it comes out. And ladies and gentlemen, to everybody tuning in, thank you for watching, for liking, for commenting, for sharing, for doing all those beautiful things that you do over on youtube.com/Side Project Podcast. When you go down, hit that big red subscribe button that says boom. When you hit it and it goes, oh, please don't kill me, and you get 100 sexy project points. And when you, as well as when you're following, you rate on Spotify. If you're watching on Spotify, as videos are available on Spotify now as well, not just listening, videos are available. And I thank everybody that is tuning in on Spotify, as I got an email recently that 87% of my Spotify following that were listeners have been watching the videos now instead. So it's awesome to see that the listener count has translated to watching on videos on Spotify. So I'm thankful that was a good decision. It goes to show that it was a good decision. 87% of you are actually watching. So thank you for following, for rating, and watching on Spotify, and listening on Apple, on Google, and all these things you listen on. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you're looking for me, you can find me at IG_Hates_Chazzy on Instagram. That is my personal, and everything else you can find me on is on the screen right now. It's not clickable, but it is clickable in the descriptions and all that stuff. The links are all down there. You can find it on there. If you're looking for the podcast as a whole, you can find it on Instagram at Side Project Podcast. And remember, that's Project with a K. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Halloween. We are out of here.